80 grams. This tiny, colorful bird weighs no more than 3 to 4 $quarter coins. For reference, the common kingfisher is double the weight, but is still by far one of the smallest species. While most members of this family are more or less proportioned in the same way, there are several birds that are quite unique in this regard. The 9 species of paradise kingfisher exhibit tail streamers, and although they are technically some of the longest species, they are by no means the largest. Africa's giant kingfisher is roughly 10 times the weight of the common kingfisher, but by a small margin, the largest family member is actually the laughing kookaburra. At almost 500 grams, this species is a little heavier than a tin of baked beans. Differences in physical characteristics are also present between sexes of the same species. Sexual dimorphism is displayed both by color and weight. The males of some species are larger than the females, whereas the opposite is true of others. These are collared kingfishers, which along with 70 other species are members of the largest of the 3 subfamilies, known as tree kingfishers, water kingfishers, and river kingfishers. The 37 members of the river group are spread across 4 genera, and being small in stature are also referred to as pygmy kingfishers. They mostly exhibit a blue plumage covering a wide variety of shades, contrasted with areas of rufous. They can, however, be found in other color combinations, the most spectacular of which is none other than our feathered friend, the oriental dwarf kingfisher. Many, but not all species of this group can be found next to streams and rivers, where they wait patiently on a perch before carefully calculating their angle of attack and diving headfirst into the water to secure their prey. That said, water kingfishers are the most specialized when it comes to hunting fish, and are generally found around lakes, marshes, and other still bodies of water, above which they hover before diving in for the kill. At just 9 members, these birds make up the smallest of the 3 subfamilies, which contains all of the 6 kingfishers found in the Americas, including the single American species of pygmy kingfisher. Our final and most ironic group is the tree kingfishers, which despite being the most numerous by species count are the least specialized in fishing and the least partial to aquatic habitats, even being found in arid areas. The 70 species that make up this subfamily are split into 12 genera, including the 5 species of kookaburra and all 9 species of paradise kingfisher. They feast primarily on insects and other invertebrates such as spiders, but are classed as omnivores and will consume a wide range of animals. Like other kingfishers, once caught, prey is beaten to both kill it and make it easier to swallow and digest. For this subfamily, nests are most often placed in trees, hence the name, and can take the form of a simple hole in the tree, an old unused woodpecker nest, or, quite often, a cavity bored into a termite nest. For river and water kingfishers, tunnels or burrows are excavated into river, sand, or other vertically earthy banks, and are usually no more than 1 to 2 meters long. Although kingfishers are generally monogamous and territorial, some birds such as laughing kookaburras and pied kingfishers can be found in larger groups consisting of a breeding pair and helpers, which are usually previous offspring. Clutch size is generally 2 to 6 eggs, but can be as large as 10 for common kingfishers. Parental duties are shared between the male and the female, which includes a roughly 20-day incubation period, followed by just under a month of fledging before the young are ready to fly. However, independence won't be reached for at least another month. Eggs, juveniles, and adults themselves are subject to predation from other animals, including snakes and other reptiles, larger birds, and rats. Although only 10 species are classified as vulnerable or critically endangered, by far the most common population trend is decreasing, with habitat loss most often being the primary cause. Thankfully, the majority of species are listed as least concern, and collectively this family is one of the most widely distributed. The density of species, however, differs drastically by region. Some areas, such as Europe, have an unfortunately low species count, which is comparable to the countries of the Sahara Desert, while others contain a frankly unfair number of species, such as Indonesia, whose enviously beautiful tropical forests play host to not far off 50% of all kingfisher species. Of the 53 found inside its borders, an incredible 22 or 41% are endemic, which is more than double the amount of any other country. Other Asian hotspots include Papua New Guinea, which houses 34 kingfishers, including 6 that are found nowhere else. The Philippines, which is home to the second highest number of endemic species and the highest proportion of endemic species at 47%, or 9 of its 19 species. And finally, the Solomon Islands, which, although it is the 56th smallest country in the world, houses the 5th highest number of kingfisher species and the 2nd highest proportion of endemic species at 44%, or 7 of its 16 species. Outside of Asia, there is one other location that is particularly impressive for its density of species. Although it is worth noting that while Africa does play host to many interesting kingfishers, the total species count and levels of endemism here are nowhere near those seen in Asia. Of the 20 species found on the African continent, only 1 is endemic on the country level. Surprisingly, although kingfishers do exist in the New World, the great rainforests of the American continent are home to just 6 species. There is, however, a small number of blissful locations where kingfishers abide in close proximity to one of the 19 species of penguin, all of which you can learn about in this video. Thank you so much for watching.